Hey there, Rob Sobek with Dawn's Appliances here today with my good friend.
James Hayes, also with Dawn's Appliances.
Love having you here, James. Today we're going to be talking about overrated and underrated appliances.
So, yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things out there that are overrated and underrated, but maybe we can maybe start around the kitchen and just talk about things that are existing there that people will tend to overlook.
And I'm going to do my best to not make any enemies or get in trouble.
Sure. Well, I think we were talking a little bit beforehand, but something as simple as a microwave,
Microwaves in general, overrated.
yeah, but over the range microwaves,
Overrated.
overrated. They tend to like it's a convenient way to maybe get it off your counter and tuck it away somewhere, but the ventilation performance is really poor on them. They get exposed to a lot of heat, and grease, and steam, and you got a lot of electronics there, so they tend to result in short lifespans. But that brings up other options of things that are maybe underrated.
Like a microwave drawer.
Yeah.
That gets it off the counter, gets it off the counter, puts it under it, mostly gets it out of sight in a lot of cases. Designers love the microwave drawers. We do sell a good bit of them. But then you have your built-in microwaves up in the wall with the trim kit around it.
And I would say overrated. I mean, it's a little bit of a dated look, and it's a way to get it off the counter, but man, are they a nightmare when you got to go to replace them. Very rarely do you find another one that just direct fits right back into that same spot.
We should start having trophies for the ones that we actually replace in one shot.
Yeah, so.
And you do it every 2 to 3 years, so that's the worst part.
Yeah, where a microwave drawer seems like they tend to go longer.
I mean, you're looking at an average of like 10 to 12 years. I mean, the first generation from Sharp, I think, was like in the early 2010s, maybe late 2008, 2009-ish.
Yeah. Or just avoid it altogether and do a speed oven in the wall.
Underrated.
Super underrated. So speed oven is an oven with a microwaving unit kind of built into it. So it isn't a fully functional oven. You could bake a tray of cookies in there if that's what you want to do. Or if you just want to put a cup of coffee in there, heat it up. It's all enclosed into one unit. It offers a lot of function out of that. And then to pair that with another underrated appliance, a steam oven.
Huge.
Yeah.
Big underrated.
Steam ovens, a lot of people are hearing about them, but they don't know really what they are, but they are probably the single most underrated piece you can put into a kitchen.
And if you buy one in your kitchen and you have other ovens, you will only use the steam oven.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
Yeah. Anyone I've ever sold a steam oven to that was on the fence has called me back and told me how much they loved it. So there's a lot of things you can do in there that you can't do in a conventional oven, but it will function as a traditional oven as well. So I've done a few kitchens in the recent past here where it's just speed oven and steam oven, and that's it. They don't even worry about doing a full-size oven.
I've done a couple of those too.
Yeah. So.
But they don't microwave. There is no steam oven microwave hybrid combo yet, and I'm sure once that exists, we will sell a lot of them. But it's not here yet.
No.
So it doesn't replace the microwave. You can't pop popcorn in a steam oven. You can't reheat coffee in a steam oven. But pretty much anything else you could think of, you could get done in a steam oven.
Yeah, so that would be one. And then, having smart connectivity on your kitchen appliances too, I think is something that's really underrated. A lot of people might look and say like, oh, that's silly, I don't need that. But, with all these different functions they're building into these things, having an app on your phone to interact with it versus trying to menu dive on an oven screen, a lot easier.
And not to mention in this world where everything gets over-engineered and quickly developed and brought to market, getting updates and things, you're only talking a year, 2 years, 3 years down the line of making it like your oven's brand new and the way of it has all the cycles that are popular now opposed to 3 years ago. So, I mean, I really think having connectivity is very underrated.
Sure. And keeping it in the kitchen, if you're going to pair with an oven, cooktops. And I feel like gas is still the predominant, like people come in and they want gas. I feel like gas is so overrated. It's
Agreed.
super inefficient form of cooking and releases a lot of harmful chemicals into your home. And I get that it's traditional, but then there's something out there called induction, which is really underrated.
Yeah, we're just 50 years behind Europe, like we are with pretty much everything when it comes to technology and things. But induction is so underrated. Anytime we demonstrate it in front of a customer that's never heard of it, they're just blown away by the speed, the efficiency, how easy they are to clean. That's what gas isn't a terrible way to cook by any means, but it is just so overrated in comparison to what induction can do.
I mean, I think I read recently the efficiency rating on a gas is almost half of an induction cooktop. So
right.
you'll save a ton of energy, and then it's easy to clean, it's faster, it's safer. I mean, I don't know.
Can't burn your house down.
Yeah, if you're doing a brand new home, that would 100% make that a strong consideration.
And we know the people who are doing the bigger pro ranges, induction has lacked in that area for years and years, and you're seeing these brands all coming out. We have a lot more 30-inch pro induction ranges, 36-inch, and then some hybrid 48s. And I'm sure, I know for a fact there are some manufacturers working on 48 all inductions. There's a couple that exist now.
Yeah.
So in this new craze, I mean, craze is the wrong word, but induction is coming.
Yeah.
And it's coming fast.
Yeah. And then I guess maybe you can touch on what a workstation is in terms of like, a lot of people see a sink and like it's a sink, but there's another category out there called workstation, which is actually like a whole other appliance. And usually you don't do that in lieu of the sink. It's its own sort of thing. And you can do that indoor kitchens, outdoor kitchens. There's a lot of flexibility there. And it gives you a whole new work area to kind of prep inside of. So if you aren't familiar with that, it's going to be a sink basin that has built-in ledges to keep all your utensils. So you'll work actually within that kind of realm. It makes things a lot neater. If you have a really good designer that can design around it, you can make it kind of the center point of the kitchen on an island, and you can make kind of a social area. So that's one of those things. It's really tough to describe. You almost have to come into a store and see it and kind of get your hands on it.
And we have events constantly, especially down at like our water source location where we're really focused on the galley workstation specifically. That's an indoor-outdoor rated one. It's great not just for washing, but prepping and getting ready and serving and things like that.
Yeah.
So it really turns your sink into an extension of your countertop. It can turn it into a serving table. Like it can make your sink so much more than just a sink, but you still have a sink.
Yeah.
100%.
In an outdoor kitchen, I feel like it's often overlooked. A lot of people, if they do put a sink outside in an outdoor kitchen at all, it's usually like one of those little 15-inch things that are kind of worthless. So maybe looking at that if you're doing an outdoor kitchen design.
But back to inside, refrigeration. This is a huge one.
Yeah.
In the way of overrated, we'll say features, not fridges in general, but features. The first one that came to mind for me was door and door.
Yes, 100%. I still don't. Some brands have like a cool little divider in there to keep the cold air inside. A lot of brands don't because it's patented by one specific brand. I really just don't understand how useful that it would be for 90% of my customers.
And is it actually more efficient?
No, not really.
Yeah, probably not.
But the there's some new categories of refrigeration out there that are worth looking at too. The 4-door flexes that are out where you have convertible zones and you can kind of play with temperatures and
fridge to freezer on the fly.
Yeah, 100%. So I feel like refrigeration's an area where there's a lot of overrated features that are thrown out there and maybe some underrated ones that people tend to overlook.
We try to reinvent the wheel in this industry, and when it comes to keeping food cold, there isn't much more you can do.
No. But I mean, if you want to know a little bit more, I mean, check out donsappliances.com. You can chat with their chat team there and ask some questions, or if you want to come into the store and get your hands on some of this stuff, come down and see Rob and I.
And ask for Rob and not James.
Yeah, well, fair.